few practices in now. I guess how do you feel the newcomers, the freshmen particularly, are picking things up?
Their heads are spinning,
yeah.
And I think with most freshmen, number one, they're all talented players, and they're all going to be fine and terrific players at Colorado. But sometimes with freshmen, they get worse this time of year before they get better because mentally their heads are spinning. They're thinking the game. They're not playing the game. And they've been used to just playing the game. And now we're asking, okay, you got to learn plays. You got to learn secondary sets. You got to learn defensive principles. All the things that we're talking about that you don't have a chance to do really in the 2 hours a week in the preseason. Now it's hitting them all at once. And but they're going to be fine. I'm pleased with where they are, but I'll have a much better feel for that maybe 2 weeks from now than I do right now. Like, okay, 2 weeks from now, I'll find out, okay, have they picked it up yet? They still so the jury's out, but they're all going to be great players in Colorado, and they're really great kids, and they're trying as hard as they can.
Coach, you've talked about before the jump from freshman to sophomore year. How do you feel Tamasaki Zili is doing in that jump?
Well, I talked about it a little bit yesterday. He's much more comfortable now. You can tell he's so many adjustments that have to be made for a freshman, number one, and then a freshman that's in a foreign country. He had to go through all that stuff last year. So this year he's much more comfortable. He knows what to expect. He knows what we expect. He's made great strides. Having a chance to play on his national team this summer was, I think, a good experience for him. And so, yeah, I'm pleased with where Thomas is. And, the thing about Thomas, he's one of those players. He's harder on himself than probably any coach can be. So, guys like that, you got to coach them a little bit differently, and not be maybe quite as hard on them because they're so hard on themselves. Be more positive.
When you look at this team, ever since Andre and Spencer left, I don't know if you have really had a consistent defensive stopper yet.
Yeah.
Have you seen that beginning to develop on this team?
You know what?
Yet
to be seen. I would say this: DeLeon Brown and Bryce Peters as freshman guards bring a defensive presence with them that we don't have on the perimeter. The intensity, the focus, the desire is pretty good. Now again, are they going to be ready to do that at this level? That's yet to be seen. But I think with those other guys, they're trying. They're getting better. I'm not sure anybody considers themselves a defensive stopper the way Andre did. And really, Spencer, I'm not sure he viewed himself that way, but he came game time, it was like, Coach, let me have that guy. I'll shut him down type attitude. And haven't seen that yet.
Does Derek have the potential to kind of fill that role a little bit?
He's got the potential to. They all have the potential to. Absolutely, they all do. But do they have the mentality? And that's. I'm not sure you coach that.
Yeah.
You can emphasize it. You can ask for it and beg for it, but you can't make a player have a mentality. They've got their own mentality, and you just have to encourage it as best you can. If somebody were smart, though, they would do that, because then I couldn't take them off the floor.
Would George King be that guy?
Could be. They all could. I mean, Xavier Johnson, George King, Derek White, Josh Fortune, you name it. It's like they all could. And Dom Collier. Yeah, they all could be that defensive stopper because they've got the physical tools, and they have the brains and the heart combination to say that's what I want to do, and that's what and I think players are afraid to do that because they think that's going to take away from their offensive production, and that's not the case. We learned that with Spencer. You can play both ends of the floor, and in fact, when you get to the NBA, you better be able to play both ends of the floor. And if you can only play one end of the floor, it probably should be the defensive end, because without hurting anybody's feelings, I don't see a Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or Kevin Durant on our team.
Not yet.
Not yet. But I see a lot of good, capable players on both ends of the floor. And defense right now is where we have got to make major strides. Because again, in the game of basketball, defensively, if you have one guy break down, it can cost you. It's going to cost you a wide open three. It's going to cost you a layup. It's going to cost you. So you have to have 5 guys dialed in, because one guy makes a mistake and it costs you a bucket. On the flip side, on offense, you could have 4 guys running around with chickens with their heads cut off. You have one guy make a great shot, make a great play, and it bails you out. So one guy can bail you out on offense, and one guy can kill you on defense, and that's why coaching defense is so much more difficult, and you have to spend a lot more time and effort doing it.
Thank you, Coach.